Hey everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host. I'm so happy to be here. If you're listening live, it is the 19th of December. This is my last live show for the year. Isn't that wild? It is a 10 a.m. Pacific. I want to let you know that we are over in the chat room. If you would like to come over and say hello, just head over to 12radio.com, click on the chat button, and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. Christy's standing by and she will gladly let you in the chat room. If you've never joined before, you will want to ask to join. So that's what's going on. We're going to talk today about the winter solstice. I've talked many times about how near and dear to my heart the winter solstice is. But before we do that, a few things I wanted to share with you. First of all, I have been busily working on helping get all of my pre-records ready for the next 2 weeks. So for the next 2 weeks, while we won't be live, a lot of the hosts are putting together pre-recorded shows so that we will have new content. I don't want to leave you guys high and dry. I know that this time of year can be profoundly lonely and that 12 Radio is a lifeline to many of you. So come, listen, be a part of what we have going on. We won't have banners posted, but if you post in the chat room and if you tag me, I will most certainly see that and come and say hello. So don't be a stranger. I won't be. And of course, I'll be over at 12 Listen for the entire break every day. Now, I'll even peek in a little for a while on Christmas. I will be available for you guys. If you need something from me and I'm not available at the moment, do a callback request or a scheduled call. That means that my cell phone gets a text and then gives me a heads up that somebody's waiting for me. So then I can make myself available for you. And I will absolutely, happily, gladly do that. The only time I wouldn't is if I was in a movie. But that's a part of our Christmas tradition, me and my kids. But at any rate, I will. I'll make myself available for you. That is no problem. Sometimes around the holidays, I get some stuff from you guys, like you feel bad about disturbing me or something. Don't. You're not a disturbance at all. And what's going on with you is important to me. So don't act like or feel like you have to, be a stranger. You don't. So let's get that out of the way. Alrighty. So that's all the good stuff. Oh, the shows, though. So Christy and I were laughing because between the two of us, we have 8 shows here on 12 Radio. So, well, we have 4 shows, 8 pre-records because we wanted to do new ones each week. So we've had our work cut out for us. It's been fun. So the first 12 News show, which will air on Christmas Eve, we pulled together 6 of our colleagues from 12 Radio and 12 Listen to come bring us their favorite Christmas song and talk a little bit about it. So that's going to be a really fun show. We had some fun stuff in that show that really made me laugh. So, and it's really varied. I will actually tell you, one of our hosts brought a song to us, a Christmas song that I had never heard before. I didn't know it could happen, but turns out it can. So definitely come and listen on Christmas Eve. The Katie Weaver Show on the 26th, so that's a week from today. That show is a compilation of my favorite Christmas music. You might feel like it's a bit of a hurricane. You may think you've had a little whiplash because I have very varied choices. So we'll go from classical to whimsical to wild stuff, all, in the same show. But I would love it if you joined me there. On the Psychic Sisters next week. Tomorrow we will be live, so no worries there. The next week, we did a pre-recorded show with all 4 of the Psychic Sisters, which is a rare treat. We don't get Kara practically ever anymore, and we get Rhonda rarely, so to have all 4 of us is a lot of fun. We did another show of our favorite Christmas music, which was a lot of fun. There was a lot of elbow jostling because, as it turns out, we share some of the most, we share some favorite songs. But it's okay. Everybody won. There's plenty to go around. The following week, New Year's Eve, on 12 News, we brought in 7 of our 12 family colleagues to share with all of us some songs that inspire them. Some of it actually was holiday music. A lot of it wasn't. whatever, it doesn't matter. Lots of really neat stuff, beautiful songs, and some great, insights from people about the new year that I thought was unexpected and fun. So definitely join us for that. And then I want to ask you to join us, me, on the Katie Weaver Show. So that'll be on January 2nd, the day after New Year's. My show, I did something that I don't think I've ever done. I pulled together my immediate family. I grabbed my kids and my husband. I asked them to share songs that bring them hope. I wanted to hear from our young people about what brings them hope, what's motivating, what's encouraging them. We live in a weird world right now with a lot of expectations, without a lot of financing, and it's tough for kids. And I wanted to know what brings them hope, what's doing that for them. And they brought some really thought-provoking songs. I can't wait to share with you what they had to say. And Scott as well. So that's going to be on the Katie Weaver Show on January 2nd. So I hope you'll join me for that one. Be prepared for some very different music because they're teenagers, and I don't know what to say about that. I have got to be an old lady because a lot of their music, I don't know. They slap headphones on me and make me listen to songs that they think I will love, and I'm like, oh, okay. It's okay. They're just being considerate. And then lastly, the Psychic Sisters on January 3rd we have the four of us together again, and we've done a show sharing songs that motivate us. Think girl power. Think pump up songs. That's what we're going to share, songs that drive us. So I'm very excited for that show as well. So lots of music, lots of insight, lots of fun. And I'm really excited for all of these shows. Okay, one quick note. Many of you have asked me, I have a reading that I bring out at the first of the year. I'm going to go ahead and roll it out now because I'm leaving, leaving live for a minute. Of course, I'll be back on the flip side. But this is my 12-month video reading. Lots of you guys partake of this one. Don't think that you have to run out and buy it today, though. Don't worry. This will be posted until February, but some of you have asked me for it, so I wanted to make sure I got it up now. So this is a 12-month reading. I'll use the Psychic Tarot deck as well as the Ground Bless Protect and Move deck. So I'll give you a look at every single month and kind of give you a map of where I see your year going. And I've been doing these forever. I absolutely love them. So this is some feedback I received on this reading. My video reading was the best thing I have ever done on this site and a great value. I feel like I could really connect with Katie on video, and what she told me was very relevant and useful. I am making some moves and restructuring this winter after dealing with my husband's sudden death a few years ago. My recently deceased father came through so clearly. She gave me plenty of time. Make it a holiday gift for yourself. Thank you, Katie, and happiest holidays to you and yours. I will follow up with energy work in the new year. I love that. So that's just one little feedback on that reading, but it is a lot of fun. And again, it is a video reading. So I will lay out the cards. I'll pull them one by one. I'll explain them to you. I'll give you a good comprehensive reading on the entire year. And of course, Ground Bless Protect and Move cards as well to give you some spiritual self-care ideas. I'm going to put a link in the chat room, but you can find that over at 12radio.com. No, over at 12listen.com under Katie Weaver, under my email readings. So easy to find, and I would love to do that for you. So I'm going to put a link here in the chat room for you right now. All right, so that is there. Okay, I have a comment in the live stream I want to get to right now because they go away in the live stream. I don't want to lose it. This seems important. So I'm going to hit that now, and then we'll move on to the magazine. So this is Natasha. She says, happy holidays and thanks for all of the great insight. I've been struggling a bit more this December because a dear friend lost her son to suicide earlier this year. I lost my sister to suicide in 2005, And now, being a mom myself, I'm feeling for my friend even more. Any tips on how to help her through the holidays? Yes. And I'm so very sorry for her, for you, for everyone that this death touched. I do have some thoughts. The first is to talk about him. Talk about him. Make sure that he is still relevant, that he still matters, that she knows that he's still relevant to you and still matters. Try to come not from a place of grief if you can, but it's okay to shed some tears together. You know she's shedding plenty of tears on her own, and if having a buddy to cry with, there's nothing wrong with that. The way people go wrong with grief is by saying nothing. I have heard the most insane ideas over grief that, well, it's been a few months, you should be over this. She'll never be over it, never in her life. You know, things like that. Why don't you just try to perk up? Why don't you just try to have a good holiday? Things like that. Or just the absolute silence. The pretending as if he never existed because they're too awkward and too uncomfortable to talk about him. That's not okay. It's not okay. So, what she needs is somebody who wants to talk about him with her. Wants to talk about Christmas memories, wants to talk about whatever she wants to say. That's the most important thing you can do for her, is make sure that he still is relevant. Now, something else that might help is to ask her if you can help her do something that honors him this holiday. There's a billion things she could do, right? Excuse me. If there's a grave, obviously we could visit that. If there's ashes to scatter, we could work on that. Maybe there's none of those things right now, or maybe that's not really what she needs. Perhaps you guys go to his favorite restaurant, or you go to a concert of his favorite band, or, you know, maybe you just stay in and make his favorite meal and watch Christmas movies together, or you make an ornament for her tree that, you know, is for him. A million different things you could do, but she's so deep in grief right now that it may be hard for her to come up with any ideas. She might need some help. She might need some motivation. She might need some financial encouragement too. She just might need all of those things. You are a wonderful friend, and I'm so glad that you're there for her right now. You know this Christmas will be hellish. And maybe on Christmas she just wants to not get out of bed that day. And you know what? There's not a damn thing wrong with that either. So, grief is very different for everybody, as we know. And for her, I do feel like she has a lot of people in her world that what I'm hearing is that she feels like the world has just kept turning and she's standing in the middle of it shrieking, you know, and nobody hears her. And so for you to be that friend that does hear her, that does honor that does recognize her need to continue to talk and continue to memorialize and continue to flesh it out is really, really important. So let me know if I can help. I've done a lot of mediumship for suicide families, very near and dear to me, and I'll help you in any way that I can. But thank you for that question. I think that actually is a really important question for all of us to consider. Who do we know and love who's been through a loss this year? Whether they've lost a child or a parent or a spouse or a pet. Sometimes they just need a little extra. When my mom died on Christmas Day, countless friends and relatives reached out to me and said, hey, I know this might be a tough one for you. I just wanted to send you some love. And honestly, it meant so much to me, and it surprised me because it had never really occurred to me, I guess, until I went through it myself, how much those holidays hurt and how crappy they are and how hard it is to find joy. And honestly, those kinds of notes meant the world to me. And then after I lost my dad as well. And so I try to be more mindful of that now, because it's a day when basically society says you will be joyful, damn it, right? And sometimes we're just not. And that's all right. It's all right. If you can't find Christmas this year, don't kill yourself looking, right? If you're having a great year, if the holidays feel more whimsical, more joyful than normal, great, roll with that too. There's no right or wrong. Everyone's having their own life experience. But thank you, Natasha, for that question, because I think it is a great heads up for all of us to just remember, who can we tap into? Who can we send a little extra to this year that just might need it? Okay, Natasha said, thank you, perfect ideas and advice. Thank you so much for sharing your gifts and helping in this way. Oh, my honor. Absolutely, my honor. Babe, if you can do anything for her this year that makes this holiday hurt even a little bit less, that's the best thing in the world. For sure. Okay. One last thing on her, because it's coming through to me. He's coming through to me. He says that she can be very sarcastic and funny and kind of cynical. And that maybe your best bet is to just go to the mall and make fun of people. That wasn't my idea, but it was given to me to share with you. Maybe that's what she needs, to just be a little openly bitter. How funny. I don't mind because I don't really go to the mall. I do have to ask you guys, are you done Christmas shopping? Have you been done for a while? Do you not Christmas shop? Whatever. I'm just curious. Every time I think I'm done, right? I really am very close, but I have to tell you the funnest thing I'm doing for the nieces and nephews. Oh, I leaned on my mute button. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh. God damn it. Yikes. I leaned on my mute button. Sorry, you guys. Okay, I am back. Alrighty. I wanted to tell you, I was asking you if you're done with your Christmas shopping, or if you even Christmas shop, or what you do. Curious. It's just fun. I am a shopper. I love, not an outside of the house shopper so much. I like to shop online. I've hardly left the house this holiday, actually, but that's okay. That's really good for me. But I'm doing the funnest thing for the nieces and nephews. So they're all getting 3 gifts from us. You know, like a main gift and then 2 smaller things. But I saw this fun idea online that you wrap their packages in varying sizes of boxes and then stack them together like a snowman. And so I'm doing that. So the bottom is their main gift, and then the middle one is a book, and then this top one is a box of candy. But anyway, so they're stacked like a snowman, and then I printed on cardstock a snowman head and face off of the internet that goes on top, and then I'm making like big gift tags out of poster board and glitter and glue. Yeah, glitter. That's going to be in my house. Seems like a good plan. I'm going to have pigs covered in glitter for months to be, I'll bet. It'll just make them that much more sparkly. Might help their behaviors, attitudes, things like that. Anyway, the gift tag, and then I have mittens cut out of cardstock as well that will be holding those on his belly. So anyway, I'm just really excited. It's going to be cute. I'll post a picture of them online, I'm sure, but I'm just having fun. I've had a lot of fun this year, actually, with just staying home and creating and doing things that I think are fun and interesting. And yeah, it's good. I actually am having a little more joyful Christmas than I sometimes do. So it's nice. I'm going to run with it. You never know. Alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the magazine. There's a lot of great articles this week. I do want to let you know that Luminous isn't going anywhere. We're going to stay live throughout the end of the year. I didn't really want to leave you on radio and magazine too. So, plus this is a good time of year for motivation and things of that nature. So I'm going to put a link up in the chat room, but you can also find it by going over to katie-weaver.com and click on the Katie's Magazine button, and you'll be redirected. When you click on the cover, you'll be redirected right into the magazine. So there you go. Alrighty. So I called this week the Winter Solstice Calling Edition because it is. You guys are hearing it? I've been feeling it. I actually slept for 12 hours. I went to bed early last night. Got back in bed after I got the kids out the door. I never do that, ever. But that winter solstice, yeah, she's calling me home. So We'll talk about that a little bit more. My memoir this week is an article about the winter solstice, so we're going to talk about that more. I have some ideas for you about celebrating the winter solstice. Maybe you do that, maybe you don't, but I've got some thoughts for you. Okay, my December reading special is all about you, a 20-minute block of time. That's a great one. It's on sale all the way through this month, and that's a really good way to get a good comprehensive reading. Sometimes I really like those 15-minute time-based sessions, but sometimes they're not quite enough. If there's reading and energy work involved, sometimes we need a little bit more. So I really do like the 20-minute TBS. So I posted that up in the chat room, and you can find that over at you can find, where am I? You can find that over at one2listen.com as well. Okay. The crystal guidance this week comes from Christy. Manganocalcite is the stone this week, which I was so happy she did, because manganocalcite is a stone of internal peace, self-love, and forgiveness, and it's a beautiful one for grief. It's a really good one for healing the heart. I gotta tell you guys, Christy's book came out. As you know, we've celebrated the heck out of it. It became a #1 new release in one of the romance categories. So we're so excited about that. And if you haven't checked it out, there is a postcard and a link in the chat room so that you can go pick up your copy. So exciting. All right, the card from her Energy Oracle deck, and I happen to know that this is a brand new card just created, is the Relationships card. The primary message is connection with people, connection with yourself, unconditional love, understanding, and support. The challenge is loneliness, conditional love, and judgment. The crystal is manganocalcite, of course. The meditation is I open my heart to allow love in. I accept myself and others for who they are. I set clear boundaries to keep me safe. I love that. All right, the Kai's Kaleidoscope article this week is called Bah Humbug, talking about holiday blues and some ideas of things to help get you through them. Really, really good insights from Kai, and I think, a very valuable understanding of how this time of year how it affects people. All right, the tip of the week. You've heard this from me before. I think this is relevant every year. You know, my mom was a teacher, and the woman lived for books. And we always got books for Christmas. You could expect that from her. You know, we try to carry that on amongst each other and make sure that everybody gets a book or two for Christmas. But here's my challenge for the winter solstice, because the winter solstice is so much about going within, about reading, studying, researching, contemplating. Look for 3 books. 1 novel for fun, 1 autobiography for inspiration, and 1 educational book to feed your brain. So start thinking about, what does that look like for you? Now, I'll be honest, I haven't picked up any books yet. I was waiting for Christmas, actually, because I know I'll get books. So waiting to see what I got, and then I'll map my plan from there. But again, 1 novel for fun, 1 autobiography for inspiration, and 1 educational book to feed your brain. What's it going to be for you? We'll talk about it more when we come back in January. I always love to hear what you guys are reading. You often inspire me. All right, Brittany's article this week is called #SimplyMommying, talking about being a mama and being flexible and resilient, and being able to change your plans, and also being able to accept the mundane in your life as something joyful, as a gift. Okay, we do still have the Spiritual Survival Guide for the Holidays by Elizabeth Lindsay. And Elizabeth has a surprise announcement, because she is bringing a brand new column in January that she's talking about on her show today. So I won't ruin the fun for her, but be sure that you listen to her show and you'll learn a little bit more about it. But I'm very excited. Elisa Robbins' article this week, and I loved this. We had a good laugh over it. She said, rules are for people who do not know what to do. Paths are for people who are lost. When you follow your heart, you know what to do because you are not lost. You create your own way. I absolutely loved what she said. It sounded very Tolkien, but just that first sentence, that rules are for people who do not know what to do. We laughed about the fact that that's how my mom really raised us, was question everything. Rules are meant to be broken. And I'm sure that meant parenting us sometimes was a real pain in the butt. And Elisa told me that her parents too were a little puzzled about that life theory. Rules are meant to be broken, except for in my house. The Magic Monday message comes, of course, from Melissa Caprio. And Melissa writes, I believe in moonbeams and Christmas dreams. And she brought us an absolutely beautiful postcard. Absolutely gorgeous, Melissa. Thank you so much. And then, of course, our brand new contributor, Chrisanne Morgan. This article is called, well, it's not called, it's about self-care. Her new column is called This Intuitive Life. And the article is about self-care. It's really, really relevant and beautiful. So thank you, Chrisanne, for that. And then lastly, Anita and the Masters. Anita brings us Archangel Metatron. Metatron is believed to have lived as a human on Earth. Really interesting energy if you've ever connected with Archangel Metatron. He is intense. Every once in a while, I'm in a session, in a healing session, I'm asked to call on Archangel Metatron, and I'm always a little bit surprised because he's usually too much for me. But sometimes that's what one of my clients needs, I guess. Alrighty, well, that is Luminous this week, and again, keep looking for it. If you've not subscribed, you can receive it by going over to katie-weaver.com. Right there on the home page, there's a subscribe button. That will bring you Luminous. If you want to receive the reading of the day, though, if you scroll down past my video on the home page, there's a spot to subscribe there. That will give you the daily reading, so you'll receive that every morning in your inbox, and I will send you Luminous. I'm trying to keep 2 lists because not everybody wants a daily email, but some of you do. So if you want the daily reading, that's how to sign up for it. Alrighty. Moving right along. Okay, let's jump into the chat room here quickly. Alrighty. Alicia posted a video, a gif of a little one singing Hark the Herald Angels Sing. It made me laugh because I've been to lots of those kinds of Christmas programs, and I was wondering how many of you are going to be doing something like that this year with all the cute little kids doing funny things. Okay. However, let's move on. I want to do a little singing bowl work. I'd really like to help bring everybody into a place of balance. You may be needing that. Maybe not. Maybe you are feeling, totally solid, but I think a lot of us are not and could use a little extra grounding. So I brought my big singing bowl today. This is in the note of C, and I'm going to play it. First, I would like to ask you to just hold space, that we can allow the vibrations of the singing bowl to clear out any energy that you're holding in your root that isn't serving you. Any kind of blocks or, balled up energy that doesn't belong there anymore. Let's clear that now. Okay. Now let's change gears. And now we're going to really ground deeply. So I'm going to give you a series of instructions. While I play the bowl, I'd like you to just follow along with me. So first, send red tree roots from the bottoms of your feet deep, deep, deep into the earth, grounding down into the energy of the earth deeply. Now, through your left foot, reach deep into those roots and pull a stream of energy from the earth all the way through that left foot, all the way up from your foot to your knee, to your hip, all the way up to your shoulder, to the top of your head, and back down the right side to your shoulder, to your knee, your hip, to your knee, to your foot, and back down into the earth. Good. Let's do it again, but faster. All the way up from your foot, clear to the top of your head, and back down into the earth. This is a reciprocal energy we're creating, so keep going. All the way. So again, from your foot, all the way to the top of your head, and back down into the earth. And again, all the way around. Good. Perfect. Okay, now while we're at it, I want you to focus on your crown chakra. Clear at the top of your head. Pull a silver thread from your crown. Send it deep, deep, deep into the universe, plugging it into life force energy. Whether you hand it over to goddess energy, or you hand it to your creator, or you just plug it into the universal energy. You decide what's right for you. And then we'll allow that energy to flow all the way through that cord, through the top of your head, and all the way through your body, nourishing you with the unconditional life force energy of the universe. And that will continue to flow. So now you're grounded, you're balanced, and you're nourished. That feels really good. Excuse me. You might have discovered a little resistance in certain parts of your body. That just tells you that that is a spot where perhaps you have some inflammation, or perhaps your energy just isn't flowing well in that area for various reasons. Sometimes you just have something that's kind of stuck, and you keep working through that area until it's flowing well. And that sometimes gives us an idea of why you maybe haven't been very grounded. Actually, when we pulled the energy from the universe, it got caught in the back of my neck, and I had to work it through right there. I thought that was interesting. I do have some inflammation going on back there, but anyway, if you feel resistance, that's why. Sometimes you'll feel a little bit of pain even, just a little pinch, but that's why. Okay, let's move on to the reading of the week. So this is, of course, with my deck, with the Ground, Bless, Protect, and Move deck. Can you believe I rolled these cards out on Christmas last year? I gave them to my sisters for Christmas. It was a deck we'd been working on for years and then put away for a few years. And for Christmas last year, I pulled them out and finished them and gave them to them for Christmas. And then we launched them in January, posted them for sale, and I've been using them on this show now for a year. And I can't believe it. Time has truly flown. So anyway, here they are. If you're interested in this deck, just go over to katie-weaver.com and click on the about, or Katie's books. And what is it? Katie's Books and Oracle Cards link, I think. You'll find them there. Anyway, so let's take a look. So this is, of course, ideas for spiritual self-care. We're going to start with the ground card. So the ground card is the elements, which I thought was interesting because it's true that if you are feeling quite ungrounded, you might need to ground with more than just the earth. So you send a cord of your energy into the earth. You send one into the sky. You send one to the west. You send one to the east. You send one to all four directions. You are the center of this, and you're no, this isn't the directions, it's the elements. Sorry, you guys. This is so easy. I love grounding to the elements, actually. There's a directions card and there's an elements card. And someone is confused. Ground to the elements, easy. You'll send a cord down into the earth to ground with the earth. You'll send a cord straight into the sky like we just did to ground to the element of air. You'll send a cord to a body of water that's significant for you. It could be an ocean, it could be a river, whatever, a body of water that you resonate with. Everybody has one of those. And then you'll send a cord into the sun to connect with fire. And so that's how you ground with all four elements. And you being the ethereal or the ether, you are the spirit in the center. Pretty interesting. And it's a really powerful way to ground. All right. The bless card was the root chakra, which made me laugh because I had already pulled out that bowl knowing we were going to work on the root today. So focus this week a little bit on your root chakra. As you are potentially in crowds, among people that maybe set your hair on fire a little bit, all of the varied experiences you may have here in the next week or two, or, you know, if you're in large groups like in the mall or at large parties, it can be very ungrounding, especially for all of you empaths, and I know a lot of you are. So it really pays to have a few things in mind to help you to ground. One of the easiest things you can do is get outside and get some fresh air. That's grounding. Go in the bathroom, turn on the water, and run cold water over your hands for 60 seconds. That is a very quick and easy grounding activity. It shocks you back into your body, the water grounds you, and boom, you feel better. Pretty cool. You can carry or wear a dark stone, like perhaps an obsidian or a garnet or a ruby, something red or black, but have something like that on hand. That helps. You may choose to wear an essential oil that's grounding. A lot of the tree sap oils are really grounding. Frankincense, sandalwood, patchouli, one of those may help you a lot. Personally, for me, I really like frankincense for grounding, but you decide whatever's right for you. So those are just a few thoughts, but make sure that this week your root chakra gets a little extra attention, especially as you're out and about and around a lot of varied energies that might help you a lot. All right. The protect card is the bubble. And I love this card because you might need it. You just might need it. Are you going to your in-laws for Christmas dinner? Maybe that's great. Maybe it's not. But the bubble will help. So you just imagine, just picture, just make it happen, wrapping yourself up in a bubble of light. It can be a pink bubble. It could be a blue bubble. It could be an iridescent bubble. You decide what's right. But wrap yourself up in a bubble of light to just keep you in your space, in your frequency. Nobody gets to pull you down, right? Stay in your space. If you're traveling, wrap your car in a bright blue bubble of light. If you're leaving, wrap your home in a big protective bubble. Wrap your pets, wrap your children. I do a lot of bubble work, can you tell? I'm a worry ward, so I have a lot of experience with this. At any rate, this is really helpful. So, the bubble. All right. The move card was strength, which I thought was just funny because, you know, I had this vision of most of you packing around shopping bags and grocery bags and, you know, you're getting your workout, I'm positive. But the idea with the move card is that you move yourself in some way because in an energetic space, your dense body tends to hold on to stuck energy. Moving it, stretching, moving in some way helps to release that stuck energy. It also helps to promote some happy hormones in your brain that make you feel better. So for this week, the suggestion was strength, but you sure don't have to be benching. You could be doing a lot of things. Maybe all you do is just stretch a little bit, and that's enough. Do something, though, to help move your body. Alrighty. And then lastly, the boost card is get social. Duh, like you're not going to do that. Probably. Maybe not though. Maybe you're a hermit. Maybe you're staying home. That's okay. But the card says, this is a good time to reach out for some support. Coffee with friends or a good chat on the phone would be good for you. If you are maybe feeling a little introverted this year, if you're feeling a little lonely, if you're feeling a little bit like there isn't a lot of joy in this year for you, perhaps reach out. Reach out to somebody that can love you, that can visit with you, that can give you a little boost. Would be good for you. And consider being that person for somebody else. Like we talked about, if you know somebody that you know is going to be having a rough time this year, make sure that you're a part of their joy and of their light. Don't be weird and awkward about it. They will appreciate that. All right, so that is it. Excuse me, that's the Ground, Bless, Protect, and Move reading this year. This year, it is. I can't believe we're here, guys. It's crazy to me. We're already at the end of the year. All right. Well, I wanted to talk about the winter solstice. So we talked about books and reading, and that is really important. I think it's really important around this time of year. This is a time of learning, but it's usually a pretty introverted time. It may also, for many of you, be a time of writing and reflecting. So however you choose to write, whether you, get your notebook and pen out, or you sit down with your laptop, or you dictate with your voice, you decide. But write about what 2018 brought you, good and bad. Write about what you would like to see in 2019. Write about what you've learned. Write your insights. It's important. What's in you, your insights, they are valuable. They're important, and they need to be shared. Okay, so for the winter solstice, I do have a few ideas for you about studying or about celebrating or marking it in some way. To me, the winter solstice is a time for ceremony. I always really feel the call. There's a lot of past life energy in me that is English and old religion type energy, and I always feel this call to do some kind of ceremony. So if you don't know what to do, I have some ideas for you. So the first is a sacred fire. Now, some of you may be able to actually build a fire, and some of you won't. I have saved way too many boxes this year for wrapping presents, and I'm going to have a little fire in my fire pit. But maybe you don't have a fire pit. Maybe it's not a possibility. Just light a candle instead, right? But fire. Because what are we doing with the winter solstice? Well, we're calling back the light. Winter solstice is the shortest and darkest day of the year. And the ceremony for the winter solstice is supposed to be inviting back the light. So to do so, create some light in some way. I had studied with a grandmother for several years, and she had trained me in the process of creating a sacred fire and doing ceremony in that sacred space. So that's one of the things I will do. Now, you may not know how to do what I'm talking about, but that doesn't matter. You don't have to do what I do. But if you are building a fire, build it with reverence. Call in the elements. Call in your ancestors. Call in those that want to come and support you and be a part of your celebration. And light your fire and sit with it in contemplation for a while. That's easy enough, right? Okay, a burning ritual. So there's a couple of parts of a burning ritual for me. The first is gratitude. Gratitude for the year. Gratitude for things that have challenged you and helped you grow. You know, sometimes it's not the great stuff, it's the bullshit stuff that you look at and go, okay, well, that sucked, but I did certainly gain a lot more patience from it, or something along those lines. But it's okay to, really recognize everything that went on this year that you might want to give a nod to. Then, of course, anything that you want to release. So I usually use pine cones, but you don't have to. You could use paper, a pen and paper. But sit with, so if you used pine cones, or even if you just used little balled up pieces of paper, hold them to your lips and speak into them the thing that you want to release, a challenge, a situation, and what you learned from it. We're combining a little clearing with a little gratitude. And then one by one, release them into the flames of your sacred fire. Again, if you're doing a candle, just do little pieces of paper. Don't light your house on fire or yourself. But that way you allow those experiences to be honored and the energies that you're ready to be done with to be devoured in your sacred flame. Okay, and a solstice bath. I always like this too. This is a great way to wrap up the solstice. And the solstice is on a Friday this year, which is really nice because, hopefully you don't have to work the next day. Or, at least it's hopefully more of a quiet day, unless you've got some big holiday plan going, and you might, but a solstice bath. So I make solstice sea salt baths by combining, of course, your sea salt. And you can use the pink Himalayan salt if you want to, but you don't have to. Just plain sea salt is fine that you buy from the grocery store. I combine that with frankincense, jasmine, spikenard, and rosewood essential oils because they're some of my favorites and because they are ancient. So frankincense connects you to higher wisdom. Jasmine connects with and honors the returning of the sun. Remember our purpose. Spikenard, because it connects me to the earth. Not because I like it. I actually don't like spikenard at all. But I use it in ceremony and ritual because it's an ancient oil. Spikenard has been used in goddess rituals for time immemorial. The use of spikenard goes clear back to the Egyptians and beyond. All right, and then rosewood because it connects me to the divine feminine as well. Men may consider using cypress rather than rosewood to honor the divine masculine. Or maybe you do both and honor both. That's okay too. I will definitely be bathing by candlelight and spend that time contemplating anything I want to learn and accomplish during the winter solstice. I will probably also spend some of that time in meditation with my guides, asking them what I'm supposed to do with this solstice because, to be honest, a lot of times what I think I should do isn't always 100% in alignment with what my guidance tells me to do. So I'll listen and I'll ask and I will start forming a plan. So what does that look like for you? You guys just do something to mark the winter solstice. Do something. It's a wonderful time. And maybe you just go to bed early and let your dreams do the work, right? That's okay too. I'm sure mine will that night as well. So that's a few ideas for you guys about the winter solstice. Okay, well, I wanted to jump into the chat room here and see if there's anything I needed to see. Let's see. Has Facebook been wonky for you guys the last couple of days? I feel like it's been a little bit weird. No, maybe it's me. This might be user error. Okay. Okay, Madeline said, just wanted you to know I just had surgery on my knee today. You asked about it a few weeks ago when things were up in the air. You said it would all settle and I'd be able to go through with the surgery, and you were right. Madeline, I'm so happy to hear that. Very, very good news. So, much love to you and offering you a very quick recovery. I feel like you will, and you're going to feel so much better. Oh my God, to say goodbye to chronic pain? Madeline, you've been given a gift, my friend. I'm excited. I can't wait to hear how this goes. Do what your doctor says. I'm hearing that you've got to hear it again. Do the physical therapy. Do whatever it is they tell you to do. Be diligent and don't overdo yourself, okay? You're going to have a couple tough days. You know that, but it's going to be so worth it. So hang in there. Sending all of our love to you, and yay, I'm very excited to hear that. All right. Raven posted a GIF that says, Merry Witchmas. Yes, very much so. Hello, Jessica and Jan. Jan says, you Brower sisters are overachievers. She's talking about doing all of those shows. I know, but you know what? I love it. And it just means for the next 2 weeks, all of the time that I put into doing these shows, I get back. It's a trade-off. It works. Terry, it has been my honor to be a part of your path this year. Thank you, Renee and Jane and Maureen. It's so nice to have you guys all in the chat today. I kind of feel like this is our Christmas party, you know? All right. Oh, Chris said, hoping to get The Daughters of Temperance Hobbs by Catherine Howe, because I liked the psychic book of Deliverance Dane. Or physic. Is that physic or is it psychic? I'm not sure. Okay. Well, thank you. You're giving me ideas. I always love you guys' ideas because honestly, I sometimes run out of ideas on what I want to read. So I love seeing yours. So thank you. Okay. Very good. All right. Oh, Amy says her firstborn, Brad, was born on the winter solstice. It's a birthday for us. Oh, that's exciting. What a special birthday. I love that. All right. Terry said she keeps losing sound. Maybe it's her Wi-Fi. I hope so. I mean, I'm sorry that you're losing sound, but I hope it's not happening to all of us. Okay, let's see. Madeline said that she loved the singing bowl. I think she needed it. She said, it seems that most other areas in my life are coming together, and I feel like I'm in a pretty good place. No movement in the romance department, though, so I'd love to hear if you have any guidance for me. You know, Madeline, you're right. It feels very quiet in the romance department, and I don't see that breaking loose in the first part of the year. I feel like there's someone coming in sometime around April or May. I feel like this is someone that one of your family members knows and introduces you to. He is a little bit older than you. Really, it's the 21st, Terry, Friday the 21st. She wants to know when the actual day of the winter solstice is. Sorry, that was a really ADD moment. Madeline, so I do see a gentleman coming in sometime around April, May-ish. He's a little bit older than you. Real gentleman. He has been divorced. I feel like he is truly a really good guy. You'll discover with him that communication is a little bit tough because he's really talkative and reaches out, and then he goes really silent for a week or two, and it's a little unsettling. But if you can roll with that and hang in there with him, I feel like there could be at least a really nice friendship that develops here. He likes to go out. He likes to go to the movies. He likes to go out to dinner. He really likes to just get out of the house and enjoy life, and could use a partner in that. And I think you could too. So I feel like that's kind of how this starts, but it could grow into something over time. So there is something finally breaking loose for you. But yeah, I think we're looking at several more months before it does, but that's okay. You know, I know you've got lots of things to do right now, and most especially recover and get back on your feet. So that's good. Good stuff. All right, guys, we've done it. We've talked down to the end of the show. I do want to ask you to join me tomorrow on the Psychic Sisters at 11 a.m. Pacific for a really fun show and our last show of the year there. And of course, stay tuned for all the other great shows. I will be over at 1-2-Listen for the rest of the day and evening. You are listening to The Katie Weaver Show on 1-2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.